Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via YouTube streaming, via Facebook streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcomed to this live streaming. Journey within, inner map. When you want to journey to a place, you need a map. Following that map, the journey becomes easier. I have spoken on the first two psycho-spiritual centers, the earth center and water center. The first center that relates to the approach of B.F. Skinner and Pavlov. They are totally worldly. The second is the approach that relates to the second center, which is water center. That is the approach of Sigmund Freud. It is psychological. This approach accordingly, Sigmund Freud reduces everything to sex. There is every possibility to Freud. The normal man is one who never sung a song, who has never danced, who does not celebrate, who never prayed, never meditated, never done anything creative, is just normal. Like anyone else, he goes to office, comes home, eats, drinks, sleeps, and dies. Leaves no trace behind of his creativity, leaves not a single signature anywhere. Leaves not a single signature anywhere. The normal man seems to be mediocre, dull, and dead. There is suspicion about Sigmund Freud that because he himself could not create, he was an uncreative person. He was condemning creativity itself as pathology. There is every possibility that he was the mediocre. It is his mediocreness which feels offended by all great people of the world. Mediocre mind tries to reduce all greatness. He cannot accept that there can be anything greater than him. That hurts. It is a revenge from the mediocre. The whole psychoanalysis and its interpretation of the human life is based on this mediocrity. Beware of it. It is better than the first, yes, a little ahead of the first, but one has to go on and continue the journey. When you are traveling according to a map, there comes certain areas which give you an attraction, but you have to keep at the back of the mind that you are to continue the journey. And the journey does not end until you reach the destination. The third is psycho-spiritual. Elder was another disciple of Sigmund Freud. Carl Gustav Jung, William Reich, they were all disciples of Sigmund Freud. Elder lived in the world of psychological, the will to power, at least something very egoistic, but at least something a little more open than Freud. But the problem is, just like Freud reduces everything to sex, Elder reduces everything to inferiority complex. One suffers from inferiority complex. People try to become great because they feel inferior. A person trying to become enlightened is a person who is feeling inferior, and the person trying to become enlightened is a person who is on a power trip. It is utterly wrong, because we have seen people like Buddha, Christ, Krishna, who are all so utterly surrendered that their trip cannot be called an ego trip or power trip. And when Buddha blossoms, he has no idea of superiority. He bows down to the whole existence. He has not the idea of holier than thou, not at all. There is a famous prayer of the Muslims, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah. It means God is the creator of everything, the sentient, insentient, plants, rivers, mountains, all that you see around. God is the creator. Because my God, my Rabb, my beloved is the creator of all that is around, I have compassion, I have love for all that. This is the essence of the Islamic prayer. How many of us understand the real meaning of this and live by this? When Buddha became enlightened, he became more compassionate. Everything is part of this cosmos. We are not aliens. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. The plants, the rivers, the mountains, the birds, everything which is life, sentient or insentient, is a part of one cosmic harmony. Buddha is not superior. He bows down to the whole existence. He does not have the slightest idea that he is superior. Everything is holy. Even the dust is divine. No, he is not thinking himself superior, and he was not trying to become superior. He is not feeling inferior either. He was born in a kingly, as the son of a king. He was born as a king. There was no question of inferiority in him. He was at the top from the very beginning. There was no question of inferiority. He was the richest man in the country, most powerful too. There was no one more powerful than him, no more riches to be attained. There wasn't any power to attain for him, no more riches. He was one of the most beautiful men ever born on the earth. He had one of the most beautiful women as his beloved. All was available to him. But Alder would go on searching for some inferiority because he could not believe that a man could have any goal other than ego. To him, that we are living out of ego. A Buddha is continuing his sermon, his work, because it is natural for him. A flower blossoms, it does not need to advertise on Facebook that I have blossomed, bring out its pictures, but people do. A flower, the very nature of the flower is to blossom, and when the flower blossoms, its beauty and the fragrance will attract all those who are innocent, who are vulnerable to the blossoming of the flower. A man may not be vulnerable to the fragrance and the beauty of the flower, or he may just talk, and what he will do, take out his mobile, take a couple shots, couple selfies, and post with a message. I was going and I saw this beautiful flower. That's all, I'm finished. To him, that was the only thing necessary to take the picture of the flower and post it on his timeline and share it with the people, and that's it. Nothing more than that he is interested in. Inferiority complex is about to come in such a person. If he had become one with the fragrance, if he had become one with the blossoming of the flower is a process, and as a process, the flower blossoms, its beauty and fragrance fills the aura. If he is connected to that, something that has happened to the flower can happen to you. It is said about Lao Tse. He used to go for a walk every morning. He had a neighbor. He used to go for a walk. Normally people who go on for a walk, they go before dawn, and they return by the dawn. When the sun is rising, they tend to return. So one day, a couple times, neighbor requested him to accompany him, to allow him to accompany him. But Lao Tse keep on telling him that he wants to be alone. After repeated request, one day Lao Tse said, okay, tomorrow you can come with me. So the person went. Now, if you are going with Buddha, Buddha need not talk. But you are becoming restless because Buddha is not talking or not responding to you. You may be prattling, saying relevant or irrelevant things, but he is not answering. Because he is a wordless silence. So, it happened when the sun was rising. Probably all his life he never woke up, he never saw the sunrise. He told Lao Tse, look at the beautiful sun in the sky. Lao Tse did not respond to him and returned home. When the person was parting, Lao Tse told him, you talk too much. From tomorrow you are not accompanying me. All the person had said, look at the beautiful sunrise, sun in the sky. This is not that he is saddened, that's why he does not want to talk. You have the experience of not talking when you are melancholic, you are sad, you are depressed. That time you do not want to talk. And when you are overflowing joy, you do not want to conserve this joy within. Allow this to sink deep within you. If you allow to sink this within you, this joy, this blossoming within you, something more can happen. But you got a little bit, but you are making a big announcement. The first announcement, this morning I wake up early and I went to walk with Lao Tse, and you have a selfie with Lao Tse. Lao Tse is not bothered about, but you took a selfie. So all those selfies that we take with important people, it is not bothered, and they do not take a copy of that either, because they do not need. You are suffering from inferiority complex, and if you happen to get the selfie with the Prime Minister or the President or any recognized singer or an awakened one, you post it on that. To add a dimension to the inferiority complex. Look, you say that I am incapable of doing this and that, and so I have a selfie with this, and then we are using the social media for these kind of talks. And if you look at the social media, specifically Twitter and the Facebook and other social media, the information is like this, they are filled with this kind of information. Elder will go on searching for inferiority complex because he could not believe that a man could have any goal other than his ego. It is better than Sigmund Freud, a little higher. Ego is a little higher than sex, but not much. A little higher. This is the third center, that is the solar plexus. According to this is the center through which you are connected to your mother's womb through umbilical cord. Now after you are born, that connection is severed, because in your process of growth, from fertilization through until you are born, that connection was necessary. Now that you are born, that connection is severed. You have to learn to live on your own. How long you can remain as dependent on the others? The same arises when you are traveling around a spiritual field. How long can you remain dependent on the others? So you have to seek your connection with the cosmic womb. You are connected to that womb. You draw your nourishment. The moment the breath comes in, the breath goes out. I had given an exercise to create a balance between these various centers. You take your two hands, you can place one top of the other. It doesn't matter which palm goes above and which one below. Put this hand like this in this position on your torso below the solar plexus on the lower abdomen, and gently pressing it, move upward and being conscious as the hand moves, reaches to the solar plexus, moves up and reaches the heart center, then the throat center. It reaches through the third eye and goes ever. There are two major meridians, one in front, which is conception meridian or conception vessel. One at the back is starting from the end of the spine to the top of the head is governor vessel or meridians. Along this meridian there are many points. Doing this consciously balances various centers. The other exercise which I had given to you is at the back of your neck, where just above where this spinal cord begins, there is a sink. You take your hand and put the fingers from the one hand into that space, the other, the base of the palm, you keep it on the forehead and started humming or breathing, deep breathing. You can do the humming maybe 15 seconds, or if you can do it for a longer period of time, it is better. Then you reverse your hand, left hand in the sink and the right hand on top of the third eye. Again, what it does, the back of your head, that corresponds to your subconscious and unconscious state of awareness. The front is the conscious. You have to create a balance between your subconscious and conscious. Many times most of the time you act out of your subconscious or unconscious and you are not even aware of it. Something happens which is not pleasing to you. You start murmuring, you start grumbling, you start fumbling, saying the words which only you can hear. These two exercises may seem to be very simple, but they have a far-reaching effect. The other exercise, which is part of the inner map, is you take the hands like this, finger, and using the finger you tap on top of the eyebrow, both sides, 10 times, then on the temple again 10 times, then under the eye 10 times, then where the nose ends again here, then on top of the upper lip, between the under the nose and the top lip, then on the chin, then the throat here, then on the shoulders, then between the two nipples, below the nipples, under the arm, like see the under the arm, this is space. After that, you take this on this here first, thumb, first finger, second finger, you are skipping the index finger and the small finger. This is the ring finger, you are skipping it, and you go on the small finger. Then you reverse the hand the same way, thumb, first finger, second finger. Now you are skipping the space between the ring finger and small finger, the gamut. This is space. You are pressing it. This completes. So, as far as the inward journey is concerned, you reach to the fourth psycho-spiritual center, which is the heart center or Anhat chakra. Anhat means the unheard. This is the heart center. There are certain psychologists, just as B.F. Skinner and Pavlov were connected with the earth center, purely materialistic. Then Sigmund Freud was connected with the second, which is this water center, the sex center. Then Adler was connected with the third, that is solar plexus. Now the physician, the Swedish psychologist Carl Gustav Jung, Asabuli and others, they penetrated this realm. They go higher than Pavlov, Skinner, Freud and Adler, and that opens up much more possibilities. They accept the world of the irrational and the unconscious. There is a famous statement of Carl Gustav Jung. He said, out of my 40 years of medical practice, if we can give, I have come to this conclusion, if we can give a little religiousness to the people, probably we can make them healthy. What do you mean by his saying that religiousness? We are not religious, we are simply ritualistic. We are interested in rituals. Because to be ritual is a great conspiracy of the priest and the business, because the very intention of the priest is to keep you ignorant, keep you his subordinate, keep you deprived of the inner meaning. All he will tell you that it is an occasion of Christmas. All we do, we celebrate the birthday of Christ. He will never tell you that you should meditate on what does Christ represent. Comes to Ganesh, does not specify the August month is the month for Ganesh Utsav, the celebration of Ganesh Utsav. The focus is on the ritualistic aspect. The business people sell in conspiracy with the priest, sell the water soluble statues of Ganesh. They are brought home, they are purchased, and other ingredients required for the worship. They celebrate, and then on the 10th day they submerge into the water. What is the spiritual significance of this festival? 9 days there are discourses on the various aspects of Ganesh, and on 10th day you take the statue, that idol, not a statue, idol with great pomp and show, and submerge into the ocean. The spiritual significance is for 9 days. The life is of only 9, signifies the short-lived life. In this short-lived life, you acquire as much wisdom as you can, and on the 10th day, you surrender this wisdom and dissolve it. You have reached to the zero, again innocent. If knowledge, if learning does not make you innocent, there is no purpose of it. Buddha becomes innocent after that. He will not say that I know this. He will not claim all that his wisdom is his own. It is by the grace of the existence that he has become Buddha. He has become wise. It is not of his own. People, the ignorant, there is a beautiful word I had analyzed it. ID out. When your ID is identification out. When ID is out, the two words ID, OUT. Remove the U and see what you get. That's what you are. ID out. So Buddha, and they claim that this is their copyright. But where did you get it from? Bhagavad Gita, your scripture says, Krishna says, I had given this knowledge first of all to sun. From sun it came to Manu, the mind. From there it came to Ikshvaku, the sense organs. And from there it came to entire humanity. Mirza Ghalib says, आते हैं ये मज़ामी ख्याल में गैब से. From where does it come? In a state of awareness, when all of a sudden you are in a state of thoughtlessness, you are connected to the cosmic womb, the cosmic records. If for some reason or the other you are striving to get connected to your internet and all of a sudden you get connected, you will get that message which is for you. And in the absence of that connection, you are not getting that message available to you. So the poets, the philosophers, the thinkers, they get their message, which is meant for them, and through them it is to be disseminated, to be dispersed, to be given, to be shared with the entire humanity, not as your own. आते हैं मज़ामी ख्याल में. It comes like this, and the sound that you are hearing is that of an angel who speaks through me. Mirza Ghalib, the great Urdu poet, says that. So where does it comes that it is your own doing? So there is no question of ego. The fourth is psycho-spiritual or unheard, the unheard sound. It is the heart center. Carl Gustav Jung, the Swedish physician, Asaguli and others penetrate that realm and they go higher than B.F. Skinner, Pavlov, Freud and Adler, and they open more possibilities. They accept the world of the irrational, the unconscious. They do not confine themselves to reason. They are more reasonable people. They accept the other realms too. The irrational is not denied, instead it is accepted by them. This is where the modern psychology stops, at the fourth. And the fourth is just in the middle of the entire ladder. So I was telling you about the Ganesh Utsav. For 9 days you learn, and on the 10th day you submerge into you are not the statue, the idol of Ganesh is symbolic of all that is known, the wisdom. You surrender that wisdom in the ocean. Ocean represents the unfathomable, the unknown and unknowable, and you become innocent, childlike again. Then whatever you have learned will emerge as your own growth. This is what Zen say, that you learn a particular art, archery, meditation or something. You learn for a certain period of time, then you forget all about it, and then it will sink in you and it will emerge as your own growth, not that something you are trying to remember. No, it comes out as if your own growth. This is the meaning, and with that is a new beginning. Now we celebrate Shivratri. Again a great conspiracy. The priest will not make you wise, will reap the benefit out of your ignorance, and he will say there is no need, just chant the Panchakshar mantra or Om Namah Shivaya and offer your dhar, your milk, the belpatri, all these things, and that's all. Do you know, and this is ritualistic, how long you had been doing, Has it brought any transformation in you? Introspect yourself. I do not need to tell you. On the other hand, if you hear me, the priest will lose his business. The business people who provide you all these material that is needed for the ritual, they will lose their business. Shiva is harmony in conflict. Look at him. In his matted hair flows Ganges, Ganga. And in his eyes there is fire, water and fire. They are enemy to one another, opposite forces. They are never friendly. Water extinguishes fire. When there is a fire, we need water to put out the fire. Shiva is holding these two conflicts within him, the water and the fire, and yet still he maintains the balance. How many times when a situation comes of conflict, you lose your balance? The second, on his third eye center, there is symbol of moon. Moon symbolizes nectar, and around his neck is a snake symbolizing the poison. Nectar and poison together in one individual. He does not allow the poison to become nectar or nectar to become poison. Both are relevant in their own rights, but he does not allow the poison to defile his words. When he shares his words, it is nectarine. When he has to destroy your ego, he uses the poison. Antidote. The next symbol. On one of his, in Shiva family, his consort Parvati is sitting next to him on the left. On one lap sits Ganesh, whose vehicle is mouse. And on the other lap sits Kartikeya, the next son, whose vehicle is peacock. Around the neck is a snake. On one lap, Ganesh with mouse's vehicle. On the other lap, Kartikeya with peacock as his vehicle. Now, a snake eats mouse, and peacock kills the snake. Again, a conflict. But Shiva is the harmony amidst that conflict. In front of Shiva, at a distance, is the symbol of Nandi, the ox, which is the vehicle of Shiva. So, husband has his car, Toyota, wife has her car, Audi or BMW or any. Audi and Toyota are in competition with one another. The salesman comes to convince you to buy Audi, and the Toyota salesman comes to you to buy Toyota. Both are needed for transport, but both are in conflict with one another. So Nandi and tiger, Bagh. they are enemy to one another. The ox runs from this, but in the company of Shiva, they are sitting peacefully without any fear or anything. The snake is not, the tiger is not chasing the ox. Ox is not afraid of Shiva, of the tiger. Harmony creates a harmony. So awakened one is one who tries to establish balance between your conflicting mind. And Shiva does the Tandav dance, the dance of destruction. When the atrocities of demons increase, in order to destroy that, he goes on the dance of destruction known as Tandav. And no sooner than that is finished, there remains no trace, no enmity, nothing. He comes back to his abode and he does not talk about this. Whereas, if you had done something like this, first thing you will do, post it on Facebook timeline, on Twitter, that I have done this. And your whole energy will be going on sharing that. And so you post it on the Facebook and you are still not satisfied posting on the Facebook, Twitter. So you send this message to all your near and dear through WhatsApp, through Messenger and other methods. Post it on Instagram also, pictures. But Shiva does not do anything like that. Probably if Shiva is born now, then he may be using the internet, WhatsApp, Facebook, but that facility was not available at that time. So he is satisfied with his own ancient systems. He comes back, returns as soon as his job is finished. He is meditative. What does this signify? That was his role at a particular time. My role as a chef was to prepare the dish for the morning. We have consumed it. And after that I go into my things. Rather than you cook the specific dish, you take out the pictures and post it on the Facebook. And then your friends say that looks very tasty. Looks tasty? What kind of thing is this? How does it look tasty? It looks good, but it is not tasty. A picture is not tasty. It may look good. That's all. So Shiva, if you understand this and learn one quality even on every day, at least one thing happens on a particular day in your life, you remain harmonious without losing your balance. I would say that you have learned a quality of Shiva. The fourth center is exactly in the center of 7-tier ladder. We will continue on this in continuing sessions Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.